JB here, December 12th, 2024, Thursday, about 3:30. Really quick rant here. Not much to talk about, at least fun stuff, right? Market's been chopping around. Another tight session, another pretty much $2 trading range. Take a look right now. We're at 604.89 on the SPY, and we hit 607 and change. So a little more than $2 range again. So it seems every day it's the same kind of story, except the three of the last four sessions now are in the red. Pending any crazy 30-minute squeeze on the SPY, we're down about 0.4% here. So some chop. Posted that chart this morning. December 15th through the end of the year is historically a strong performing time frame. So I don't know if we have to wait a couple days for the next leg to this rally, but hopefully, I was talking about that 604.50 area or so as support. Hopefully this holds here, and then maybe another green session tomorrow into the weekend. That I think that'll bode well. The issues, and now it's like a lot of these names have rallied hard. You see the crypto names, then you see Bitcoin, the miners, MicroStrategy, and now it's the quantum computing. And it's tough for me. There's names I'm actually not very, I wouldn't use the word astute, but I haven't done much due diligence on the quantum computing. And then I go to look at some of the names and the fundamentals, and it's like very hard for me to wrap my head around. So definitely names I probably got to look at, but it's not where I'm going to chase some of these names, but I hope folks who are in, you make a lot of money. But it seems like all those, that's what right now we're in that phase in the last couple of weeks of a lot of hyper runs in some names. And so maybe some consolidation, they're volatile, uh, and go from there. But first name I want to talk about, I didn't do too much this week, but today I added the GLD puts this morning. I'll talk about those in a second. And then SSYS. SSYS was, I think it was one of my top 5 stocks back in 2013. 3D space, it's one of those names that, you look to the future, and when you need to make components for cars, for manufacturing, for whatever it is, even at home, the future, I would think, is that you just hit a button, and probably now you just tell Alexa or a Siri, whoever, hey, print me and my Siri's going off right now because uh, it it will probably be that kind of automation. So I always thought in my head that the 3D sector would be on a tear, and it's been on tears before, but it's come way down after the hype. 3D Systems used to be, I think it was $100 stock. Uh, but SSYs I've traded off and on. There's been buyout consolidation rumors over the last year and a half, and actually active buyout attempts on SSYS. I think they adopted a poison pill. But then it's kind of like those stocks have been almost, I wouldn't say left for dead, but almost nobody really talks about them too much, or at least that I see, not much chatter. And then you start looking, and 3D Systems had some news. I guess they sold some of their assets, 100 and something million. And then I start looking, I look at the call volume, look at the chart on SSYS. I'm like, I don't even need this to run to $20. It can run to $12 by middle of January, and my calls will be at double. So there was a lot of call volume on the name already. I figured better, similar to TripAdvisor, because at some point I'm going to add some strikes on TripAdvisor. Better to get it when it's freezing cold and then sell when it's piping hot. And I don't know if it's going to get piping hot, but I do like the setup here and the huge call volume. And you take a look before I got the calls, there was 1,100 calls. Now there's 2,000. I don't think that's all us, but there's only 7 puts. Not that I don't think it's a very actively traded stock anyway to begin with in regards to puts and calls, because I could probably do the math in my head right now on the put side open interest, 350, 550, 600, 700. Like there's like 900 contracts of open interest on the put side. And if you go to the call side, substantially different. I see 3,400, 4,400, 55, 6 there. I mean, it's substantially more. So, not saying that means it's headed higher. I just, of course, when I have when I'm in calls or I'm biased to the upside, I'm going to look at it as a positive, right? Net positive. But anyway, like the setup here. So went and got those. I think it could do well regardless of what the market does. I have to dig back into its financials. I don't even know how much debt it has, but I think it's like a $700 million company. It has $64 million in cash, and it's had declining revenue over the last year or so. And because of that, it's not getting a premium multiple. I think it trades like a little more than 1 time sales. So I like the name. I add some strikes. Not sure I'll add any more here, but they're March, so plenty of time. Don't have to watch the in and out day-to-day kind of stuff because they don't expire December or January. So good stuff there. And you take a look at a longer term chart. Back in 2021, it was hit 55. And then in 2023, I think near the end, it was buyout rumors. Stock went all the way up to 20 bucks. Surprised that hasn't come to fruition. Hey, maybe it does while I have the call. So that'd be great. And buyouts, I think first it was 18, then it was 20, then it was $22. They kept up in the target, and SSYS said, no, our company's worth more than that. But here it is a year and a half later, or a little more than a year later, and it's down here at 10 bucks. So anyway, that's SSYS. I added some more GLD puts. So, I still have December and Januaries, which are, the Decembers I locked in for freebies. The Januaries are seriously red, so they need some help there. But just watching today, it's like one of those things where I'm going to kick myself because, I've done these rants already on gold, but I just at some point it's like it's going to be like an aha moment, and gold's going to be down like 5 or 6% one day, just because, right? So, uh, I I'm not going to do too much of a rant, but I'll continue to look for opportunities to play that for downside. It's like if all the money, all right, I'm not going to go too much because I'll go too, I don't have much time to talk about gold, but I add those puts and I'll continue to look for opportunities to play it for downside. If you take a look, the 50-day moving average on gold, and I don't have the updated daily chart because this is the futures, but it was 2683. So we just broke, and I didn't even pull it up, 2706. It got down to 2696. I think it trades again into 26s. And then I was talking about, I think it trades down to 2400 in 2025 at some point. That's where I think it heads. I mean, does it? Who knows? But that's gold. I already talked about the SPY, 607.16 high, and we're at 605.17. So a $2 trading range on the SPY today. Well, right as of, it was 504.75. No, 604.75. Gosh. So another tight range. So then just a couple of other names here, and it's almost, it feels like a snail day. Like the market's just not finding direction, and then unfortunately some of the names that have been on tears are just consolidating or coming under pressure. Square looks so good yesterday into the close, was right near closing at multi-year highs, and then today just lays an egg. It's down 4%. I try to do all the the things with the try and find a silver lining on things. And with Square, you look at the chart, it doesn't look too bad, but it's similar to the S&P. It's down, actually, it's down 4 of the past 6 sessions, but it's still holding up here around 94.50. It's not going to take much. I mean, a lot of these analysts have already upgraded, so I think it's just got to churn here, and then I think the next leg comes quick. So have some time here, but time's running out. So maybe tomorrow's the day it gets over 100 runs. A Roku, I mean, it was still teasing here. It's still slightly in the green. Somehow it's held the green despite the market weakness. Just a matter of time before that starts to break up into 90. Clear Secure down back-to-back days here. We'll see. I mean, it's still got a chance, but still pinching. So still like that one. Fiverr's still sitting there, down barely 1% today. It's just going to take one day. It's like sometimes the market does its best to shake you out of your conviction, and then when it does, then the next day is when it runs, right? That's why you see some of the names you're in run on Mondays instead of the day your options expire, or at least that's what happens sometimes with me. But anyway, it's not. Sometimes it's a coincidence. Sometimes maybe it's not a coincidence. Just some other names. WW. I'm still watching that one. It looked like it was going to break out this morning, all the way up to 163. It's pulled back here. I'm still holding the January 25s and then the January 26s. Not going to add anything on that. Peloton was tapping on the door of 10 yesterday. I thought, okay, here's good, looking good. Then this morning it was up near 10, 990, and then it's just been melting ever since, down 4%. I think some of it's the small caps, and small caps are taking on the chin today, right? Did I talk about small caps? IWM's off nearly 1.2%, right at the lows of the day. I'm trying to think of the name of the thing. VIX is only up 1%. So again, I try to find a silver lining in things. I think that's it, folks. Teladoc, it's under its 50-day moving average here. Let me see. I didn't even pull up what it is right now, or the up to minute. 200-day moving average on Teladoc is 1059. So now it's going to close under it for the first time. It's going to need some kind of catalyst upgrade or something of that nature. That's it, folks. Let's have a great day. I'll be back on audio later. Rock and roll.